EVS Lesson 5. Around us in different forms. Is air always moving? Don't we feel the movement of air when the fan in the classroom is rotating? Yes. Stop the fan and observe. Is the air still moving? Yes. What happened to the movement of air when the fan was stopped? The movement of air was slowed down. Observe the picture. Hey, nice fragrance. How did the fragrance reach the child's nose? The fragrance reached the child's nose by air. Light an incense stick and place it on the table, or place some jasmine flowers or a piece of cotton soaked in lemongrass oil in a corner of the classroom and observe. What do you experience? We will get the fragrance. How did the fragrance spread all through the classroom? The fragrance spread through air. Could you experience the movement of air this time? Yes. Are we able to identify the gentle movement of air? No. Shall we make an instrument to detect the gentle movement of air? Materials required: paper, scissors, thread. Take a thin and narrow paper and cut a piece of about 15 cm length from it. Roll this paper around a pencil. Tie a thread to one end of the paper, as shown in the picture. Hang it in a fixed spot in the classroom and observe. Write down your observation. There is a slow movement of air. Instead of the thin paper, use a thick cardboard piece and hang it. What did you observe? Why? The movement of cardboard is much slower than the paper. What is your inference about the movement of air? Air is always in movement in the atmosphere. We experience it only when the movement of air is strong. What are the different ways in which we make use of air? To breathe, to fill air in the tires of vehicles, for flying, for wind energy. Is water present in air too? One day, Meenu and her younger brother were going for a picnic with their family. On the way, it started raining heavily. Note the questions that Meenu asked the driver on noticing water droplets inside the glass pane of the bus. From where did these water droplets on the glass appear? Is the glass broken? There is no crack in the glass. The water is from the moisture present inside the bus. Is there water in air too? Let's do an experiment to clarify Milan's doubt. Materials required: a glass tumbler, ice cubes. Put a few ice cubes in a glass tumbler. Observe the outer surface of the glass. What changes can you observe? Water droplets will form on the outer surface of the glass. From where did the water droplets appear? Air. Which component of air became water droplet? Water vapor. Air contains water droplets. Does air require space? We are not able to see air. If so, does air require space to occupy? To clear Vidhu's doubt, can we do an experiment? Materials required: beaker, water, a small plastic ball, transparent plastic tumbler. Fill the beaker up to 3/4 with water. Place the plastic ball on top of the water. Keep the plastic tumbler inwardly and firmly on top of the ball. Observe the position of the ball. What forced the ball to move to the bottom of the beaker? Air. What can we do to bring the ball back to its initial position? Tilt the tumbler slightly. This will help the trapped air to escape as bubbles. Water will enter the tumbler. The ball will then float back to the surface. Write down your assumption and its reasons. Assumption is air occupies space. Reason: when the tumbler was pushed down, the air inside it prevented the water from entering. This trapped air created a downward force that pushed the ball to the bottom. Repeat the same experiment using a transparent plastic tumbler that has a hole at its bottom. What did you observe? Why does the ball move to the bottom of the tumbler in the first experiment? Why does it move upwards in the second experiment? What did we do differently in the second experiment? When we did so, what moved out from the plastic tumbler? The answers for these questions are given the next page of this video. After doing the experiment, write your observation in my environmental science diary. Air requires space to occupy. 1. The ball moves upwards. 2. In the first experiment, the tumbler is filled with air. When the tumbler is pushed inside the water, the air inside gets trapped and exerts an upward force. Therefore, the ball moves to the bottom of the tumbler. 3. When the tumbler is pushed into the water, the air escapes through the hole, allowing water to fill the tumbler. So the ball moves upwards. 4. A tumbler with a hole at its bottom was used. 5. Air moved out from the plastic tumbler. Let's see how this experiment was done in a different way in Anu's class. Roll a paper and place it halfway inside a glass. Press this glass inwardly into a bucket of water. Oh, my paper is wet. My paper is not at all wet. Why did Anu's paper get wet and Millie's paper not get wet? Anu's paper is wet because she tilted the glass as she pushed it into the water. This allowed the trapped air to escape as bubbles and the water entered the glass, wetting the paper. Millie's paper did not get wet because the glass was pressed straight down into the water. The air trapped inside the glass prevented the water from entering and wetting the paper. Shape of air. Haven't you seen balloons filled with air used as decorations for birthday celebrations? Yes. When filled with air, what happens to the shape of balloons? When you fill a balloon with air, the air particles spread out to fill the entire space inside the balloon, taking on its shape. Is the shape of air the same in each alphabet? No. Does air have definite shape? No. Write down your observation in my environmental science diary. Observation. Air does not have a definite shape. When air is used to fill a balloon, it takes the shape of the balloon. Does air have weight? There is air around us. It does not have any weight. Air has weight. Listen to the dialogues in the picture. To whose opinion do you agree? Write down your opinion in my environmental science diary. Yes, air has weight. How can we prove that air has weight? Shall we do an experiment? Materials required: 2 balloons, thread, a small stick. Inflate 2 balloons and tie their mouths. Tie each balloon on either ends of a long and thin stick. Tie a thread to the middle of the stick and balance the balloons on it. Prick one of the balloons with a pin to release the air inside it. What has happened? Write down your observations as an experimental note in my environmental science diary. Please follow the steps of writing an experimental note. So in experimental note we have to write name of the experiment, aim, materials, procedure, observation and findings, conclusion. Now let's write the experiment. Name of the experiment: air and weight. Aim: to observe if air has weight. Materials: 2 balloons, thread, a small stick. Procedure: inflate 2 balloons and tie their mouths. Tie each balloon on either ends of a long and thin stick. Tie a thread to the middle of the stick and balance the balloons on it. Prick one of the balloons with a pin to release the air inside it. Observation and findings. When the balloon is pricked and the air comes out, the stick tilts towards the balloon that still has air. The balloon that lost air goes up and the full balloon goes down. Conclusion. This experiment helps us to understand that air has weight. Shall we do another experiment? Measure the weight of a cycle tube before and after filling it with air. Do you observe any change? What can be the reason? Air has weight. Now let's do the experiment. Name of the experiment: measuring the weight of air. Aim: to determine if air has weight. Materials: cycle tube, air pump, weighing scale. Procedure: take a deflated cycle tube and weight it using a weighing scale. Record the weight. Use an air pump to fill the cycle tube with air until it is fully inflated. Weight the inflated cycle tube again using the same weighing scale. Record the weight. Compare the weights of the deflated and inflated cycle tube. Observation and findings. The weight of the inflated cycle tube is greater than the weight of the deflated cycle tube. There is a noticeable difference in weight after filling the tube with air. Conclusion. This experiment shows air has weight. Thank you. Please like, share and subscribe my channel for more updates.